Hi everybody, Nancy here. Today I'm going to show you how to control the size of a symbol when you stamp it. I found another Easter egg. I found another treasure. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I stamp a symbol, I'm never sure how big it's going to be. Now, I need to make sure I turn that off. Let me go back. Okay, I don't know how big it is, but what I do know is that it's going to be the same size it was whenever I saved it as a symbol or I created a symbol. It's going to be that size, or, you know, if I did this little circle, I don't know if you can see that. It's that size. If I did this little circle, it's that size. That's when I saved it, that's how big that was. Now, if you look at this, if I open this up, those two look the same size to me on the display. So you can't tell by looking at those two things. One was going to end up being smaller and one was going to end up being larger. But Ed has now given us, you weren't in control of it. You just stamped it and then you resized it. You know, then you grab a corner and resize it, and then you try to, well, I want them to be the same size, so you have to kind of eyeball it and figure it out. Well, not anymore. He has, if you go up to the tools in the top left corner of the symbols, let me take that back down. Okay. Sorry, my fingers are not working right. All right, if I click on the two little tools in the top left corner and I turn on scale to shape, the bottom one, I'm going to turn that on. Now, if I have a shape, let me go back to the symbol so I'll be sure. If I have a shape, like I have this right here, and I stamp one of those spirals that I just created, give me my tool, my shape back. If I stamp the black one, see, it fills up that circle, and I'm talking about anything, not just a circle. If I did the trash bag and I stamped on it, it fits itself inside that circle. If I do any one of these, if it's created smaller, it gets bigger. If it's created larger, it gets smaller. It fits inside whatever shape that you've got. So if I take that little Walmart truck and I stamp it off to the side, not in a place, see, that's how big it was when I saved it. But if I click on it here, it's going to blow it up automatically. If I click on a cell inside my table, it's going to resize it to fit inside the cell. Oh my gosh, y'all. How wonderful is that? And it kind of centers it inside the cell. Like my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday little pieces of torn paper. They're all different sizes in the symbols folder. But I don't even know where it was. But when I stamp it inside those cells, they automatically size to the perfect size, and they all lined up, centered, and perfect. Perfect. Love this new tool. All right, now if I get rid of some of this. Also, we have the ability to have a consistent size no matter what you stamp without using a table. Delete. I'm trying to delete all this mess. All right, if I go to the symbols and I go back to the Me folder and I stamp the Easter egg. If I go, sorry, I got to go to the tools up at the top, and I turn the scale to shapes off, and I turn on auto scale symbols, go back, and now if I stamp my little egg, she's that big automatically every time. Now, if there is a default, that's the default. That what looks to be like 1 inch. I don't know. no matter how many times I stamp her, she's always going to be that size. And no matter what I stamp, like if I stamp my little blue circle, it's going to be 1 inch. If I stamp the black circle, it's going to be 1 inch. Even though I know that they're 2 different sizes when I created them. If I turn that back off, go back, and I stamp the blue, that's how big it was when I created it. If I stamp the black, that's how big it is when I created it. So you're in control of that. Now, what you're not in control of is that 1 inch. I don't know, like I said, I'm not sure if that's a default that we can change, or we just live with the 1 inch, which is fine. But if I decided that I wanted everything to be a same size, then what I would do is put a polygon on the page up front. Now it can be any shape, and well, let me just change it to rectangle and fill it so that you can see it. Okay, if I had that on the page somewhere and I wanted everything to be consistent and be this size, then I would go back to the tools, and I would do do shape to scale to shape. Sorry, I'm looking at all of them and trying to read them all at once. Okay, now if I go back, I stamp on the little egg, and I stamp on top of that square. I just did it. Now, it's weird. Sometimes it'll blur like that, but I know that it's actually in the middle of, see, it made it that size. And the only way to get rid of that little preview, and that doesn't happen every time. I want to get rid of that. I had to tap off, and that automatically creates another version of it. But so if I move that over to the side, so now if I want everything I stamp to be that size, I just stamp on top of that. So if I put the gas tank and I stamp on top of it, see, it makes it about that size. If I do the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and see, it's that size. So if you don't want to bother with a table and make them that size all consistent, then you can just use one little square. Now if I have both of them turned on and I stamp, go back, and I stamp on top of let me do the phone. If I stamp on top of the square, it's going to make it the size of the square. But if I tap on anywhere else, it's going to be the size it was created. No, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. It'll be the 1 inch because I've got both of them selected. If I wanted it to be the original size, I would turn off the top one, auto scale symbols. So now if I stamp that little tree off, it's going to be 1 inch. If I stamp it on the little square, it's going to be the size of the little square. Cute, cute, cute. We can control it now. Okay, that's it. That's all I just wanted to show you guys that. Have a good one here.